Hi, Shivam. Good evening from Nigeria.
Good evening, good evening from India. It's almost night actually. It's 12 at night.
Oh, so sorry about that. So sorry about that.
No issues at
Sorry
all.
for the inconveniences. Um, Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Sorry for the back and forth upon this moment. We're actually currently live, so we're looking forward to the value, lots of value you're going to share with us. Like you've been in talks with our
Yeah.
operations lady, and yeah, so um me, I'm
I
just going to like take my back seat. Sorry.
I think I might have to mute the YouTube tab because I think there's a delay in the live stream.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't think that might cause
oh,
an issue though. I think we can continue. Yeah.
that's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's going to be you have the floor. We actually had two speakers, right? So as soon as we have the next speaker, I'm going to introduce the next speaker. So you have the floor. It is not like we have lots of we have questions out. I'm sure you have your outline and the things that you want to really share with us. So you have the floor, and the next
Yeah.
we're looking forward to next hour being one of the most impactful hour on this session. So but we can start with you introducing yourself. Tell us what you do and how you got to where you are now, and then head into we head into the topic proper. All right. Thank you.
Of course, of course. I just wanted to make sure that I'm properly audible to everyone. Maybe the live chat can help me with this. If I'm audible to everyone clearly.
Yes, the live chat is visible on YouTube, so you won't see any chat from this end. This is more like a streaming. It's for
Yeah, yeah.
we're streaming to from here. Yeah, so it's on
I'm,
YouTube, and
yeah, I'm
I'll
checking
have
the
my eyes.
live chat on YouTube as well. Okay, so it
Okay.
seems that I'm audible. Um, okay, so I'll start with my introduction first. I'm Shivam. I'm from India. I'm a developer from India. So I'm basically a student right now. I'm pursuing my master's in blockchain technology. Um, so talking about my journey as a developer, as a Web3 developer rather, I got into the space uh, quite late in the 2020 bull market after the Bitcoin halving. When I saw crypto everywhere, I got in first initially uh, because there was a lot of money flowing into the system and it was obviously lucrative for any newbie investor. And being from the technical background, I was pursuing my computer science degree back then, undergrad, which is. I was naturally drawn to the technology. The profile picture that you can see actually currently that I have on is of an NFT, which I had purchased at the peak of the bull market, and that ended up being a huge rug pull. Actually, I lost quite a bit of money in that. But since then, I've learned to embrace those things, and that is why I wanted to put it as my profile picture for this session. I must say. Um, I guess yeah. Then I started delving deep into the technology. I found it really interesting how it disrupted the usual flow of the financial systems or like any traditional systems. I found it interesting. Then I was introduced to smart contract development by Patrick Collins. I came across his course on YouTube. Um, uh, Even in my presentation right now, you will see a lot of Patrick Collins here and there. I think he's a great teacher, a great mentor, and I've often had opportunities to sort of interact with him on and off of Twitter or uh, GitHub, and yeah, we'll see more of him in my presentation. I guess that's all about me. I wanted to make one thing outright clear is that I didn't prepare a presentation sort of for this session because I think it might get a little boring like that. So I have a couple of tabs open in front of me. Victoria, is it cool if I can share my screen?
Sure, sure. You can share your screen. You have the floor. You are the one
Yeah.
leading the way this
Okay.
evening.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, yeah. Sharing now. Is it visible to everyone in the
I
YouTube live?
uh,
It is visible. Victoria, you were a little unclear right there. Okay. So the live chat says that I am. My screen is visible. Okay. So um, basically, the learning parts, as you all viewers might have seen already, the topic for today's session is basically learning resources for newbie developers and study strategies. So, having seen Valuecorp's previous videos, I sort of have an idea about who the target audience is. Um, so, I will be uh, starting from the very basics, like right from the beginning. If you have never stepped a foot into the technical side of things ever, you still might be able to follow along with what I'm trying to say here. And then slowly we will.
sorry.
I'm sorry,
Y-
Victoria. Yeah, pardon.
Yeah, I wanted to draw your attention that the screen is mirrored, so like an infinity screen.
Yeah,
But
I'm actually on the
before
100th
you
page right now.
you continue, I wanted to introduce the second speaker who just joined us, Razak. Oh,
Uh,
okay, that's fine.
is it?
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So before you continue, let me quickly introduce the speaker, and then
Oh,
you both have 20 minutes each. So, but you
okay.
go first. Let me just introduce one speaker. Yes,
Of course.
Razak, you're welcome. Can you introduce yourself briefly before we um, before we continue with Shivam?
Um, Hi everyone.
Razak, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I
All
can
right.
hear you.
Okay.
Are you me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. You can go ahead.
All right. Hi everyone. I'm Razak. Actually, I am basically from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm actually into um Web3, but like the side of Web3 I'm actually into is building this type of new technology in Africa, which has to do with augmented reality and virtual reality. So bringing it on board to like making the technology understand what blockchain is really all about, and helping people solve different problems within this ecosystem. And yeah, basically that's what I do, and I'm actually working with Meta, and we're trying to see how we can fix things together within the ecosystem. So yeah, it's actually nice, joining the call today.
Thank you very much, Razak. Thank you. It's good to have you here. We're going to. I know you have a lot of value to share with us this evening, and you guys are the pilots for today's ship. So we're going to have Shivam will have 20 minutes. That's between now and like 8 p.m. here in Nigerian time, and then you will take questions, and then you follow next. If that's okay, we can proceed.
Of course. Of course. I'll start with my
All right.
presentation now.
Yeah, sure, you can start. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Um, I hope everybody is able to see my screen. Okay. So as I had mentioned, we're going to go right from the basics up to the not necessarily the advanced level, but by the end of the discussion, you will have an idea on what skills to acquire in order to get that first job or that first opportunity, be it an internship or a job opportunity. So, like basically getting your foot in the door is what we will be talking about today. Okay, so if you're completely from a non-technical background, it's not advised. At least I don't advise it. A lot of people don't advise it that you directly get involved with blockchain stuff. As a If you're aiming for a non-technical role like a content writer or maybe something in management or operations, then it might be fine. But as an engineer, it is not advised at all to get into blockchain as your first sort of tech stack, right? So what I would advise you to do is, I have all these tabs open, by the way. These are all the learning resources that we'll be talking about one after the other. So this is Geeks for Geeks. It's an amazing website for beginners to advanced. Everybody always refers to Geeks for Geeks. There are other similar websites, but I just like the interface and the content up here. So these are the computer science fundamentals. Firstly, you should understand what exactly is a computer. It might sound funny, but a lot of people don't actually have an idea what exactly a computer is, or how it might work, or what are the functions, what is the architecture of a computer, right? So up here in this page, basically, computer fundamental tutorial is what they call it on Geeks for Geeks. Tell you a couple of concepts that you need to be really good with, right? So here's a sort of an index of all the topics that are covered, but it's not necessary that you need to be well versed with everything. So starting off, introduction to computer fundamentals. This is a must. Introduction and the evolution of computers is a must for everybody to know. It sounds silly at first if some of you are a little advanced or intermediate peers, but for absolute newbies, this is very important. It is not advised at all to directly jump into the technical aspects without understanding the basics first, the theory first, right? So these first two sections are extremely important. Uh, you must have learned them in school as well, but it's never uh, like not bad to brush up on old stuff, right? Down here, you will see that there's a section called data memory, data storage and memory, and computer memory. So in here, you will find stuff as computer memory hierarchy, how is memory managed, how are jobs scheduled in the architecture, in the memory architecture, in the storage architecture of a computer. This is very important in the terms that the popular blockchains that we know of, Bitcoin or Ethereum, how do they manage their memory? What is cache? What is a stack? What is a heap? And all those little nitty gritty stuff. Because when you form a base right over here in the memory architecture, you will be better able to understand how the EVM manages its memory and why certain operations cost more gas than some other operations. We'll get to that part later as well. Down here, you will find computer networks. Again, blockchain is nothing but a database combined with a network, right? That is the basic essence of it. And if you don't understand what a computer network is, what are the different layers, what are the topographies, the difference between decentralized or distributed and centralized networks, then you might be able to get somewhere, but you won't be a great blockchain engineer, which is the goal at the end of the day, right? Then, yeah, these three are the most important topics according to me: computer networks and how the internet works, and then computer memory and the hierarchy, data storage, architecture, and stuff, right? So once you have the fundamentals down, these are the bare minimum, like the bare bones of computer fundamentals, computer science 101, if you can call it. Secondly, uh, right, so moving on, you can see that down here, there's also a section called Introduction to Programming. You can go through this. Um, it doesn't hurt to go through it, but I would rather advise you to jump on to a more practical resource such as Scrimba. So a couple years ago, a friend of mine recommended me this website, and it is absolutely amazing for the newbie learners. So here you can see there are two courses. These are free courses. One is of JavaScript and the other is of React. So if you're not aware, JavaScript is basically a programming language. It is uh, the syntax in the sense that the way it is written is it reads like English. So it doesn't look very complicated. It's beginner friendly. You can get your hands dirty in it within a week or so. You'll be pretty good with it. So it's that kind of a language. So it is advised that you start with JavaScript before you dive into Solidity, which is the programming language that we use while programming smart contracts on the blockchain, right? Solidity again is very similar to JavaScript. The syntax is very similar. You will find the similarities there. Uh, right. So if we like open this tab, I am advising you all to use Scrimba. If you like open the Learn JavaScript course, uh, so like if we go to a lesson, for example, what Scrimba allows you to do is it has within your browser, you're able to write code, and on a little tab, you're able to see your output at real time, right? So, like you can interact with whatever you have built, and it'll give you the output basically instantly, right? You don't have to set up any local environments. So that's why I think Scrimba is a pretty good option for beginners, beginner developers. Now, once you've learned about JavaScript, HTML and CSS, in my humble opinion, aren't that big of a deal. HTML and CSS is pretty basic stuff. You just need to know the basics of how content is marked up on a website. CSS is basically just styling and the uh, sort of design of a website. So you only need to know the basics of HTML and CSS. JavaScript, you need to know a decent amount, and you don't need to be an expert in any of these things. Any of these things that I'm showing you, you do not need to be an expert. You just need to know enough to move on to the next resource, right? And the next resource that I'm suggesting you is on Scrimba as well. It is the Learn React course. This is an absolutely amazing course. It is again free. It is taught by top uh, React developers again, and React is basically a framework that is used for developing web applications. So the website, this website that I'm showing you right now, is probably built on React. Any other website that we might see, such as this one, it's also probably built on React. Again, GFG probably built on React, right? So it's basically a framework that allows you to build web applications, right? And why you need to learn how to build web applications is because when you create blockchain applications, which are also called decentralized applications, you need a front end in order to connect your back end to something. The user is not going to come and directly interact with your smart contract. You need to have a front end, which is sort of the interface between the user and your back end, right? Between your contract and your uh, user. Next, once you have like one or two projects down with React, like very basic projects, you don't need to be an expert by any means. Next, you will have to dabble into the world of blockchain, right? And there, that is where this great man comes into the picture, right? So I'm a huge fan of Patrick Collins. I absolutely love him and his courses. He is, so you might see that this is a 32-hour long course, although here it shows some 100 hours or something, but I don't know. It's a glitch with YouTube. It's actually a 32-hour long course. It is very extensive, extremely extensive. Patrick takes you from learning blockchain basics to creating basic smart contracts to basically hand holding you through the process of creating smart contracts and DeFi dApps, which are decentralized applications. He'll talk about the frameworks such as Hard Hat, which is used for smart contract development, Next.js, which is just React.js but better, um, and Ethos.js, which is another library used for connecting your smart contracts to your front end, basically. So all these modules are sort of covered in this course by Patrick Collins. Again, an amazing tutor. I'm also aware of Valucop Global's courses and their boot camps, and I can assure you that they're amazing as far as I've seen the curriculum and all on the website. So that is a more handhold. Excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, so that is a more handhold approach. I would suggest if you don't have any issues with self-discipline and consistency, uh, you can like pick up any resource and be good with it. But I would definitely suggest Value Corp's courses as well, their boot camps. Right. So if your sort of aim is to become a blockchain developer, then I would advise you this course. Otherwise, in the world of blockchain development, we also have what is called as smart contract auditing, and in there you do not necessarily need to know about development. And in that case, I would recommend you this course again by Patrick Collins. Here he uses a framework called Foundry, which is different from Hard Hat in the sense that it does not make use of JavaScript. Instead, we use Solidity to test our smart contracts. Right. So if you're into auditing, then I would suggest you this particular resource. Right. So once you have the fundamentals of writing smart contract code and your front end code down, that is, you're able to build basic websites, you're able to build basic front end applications, then you're able to create basic uh, smart contracts, and you're able to integrate them using ethos and crypto wallets and hard hat and Next.js and whatnot. There are endless resources. But once you're able to build like very basic dApps, then it is advised to get into what is called as speedrun Ethereum. So this is an amazing uh, resource built by an amazing community called the Build Guild, spelled as Biddle Giddle, but it's actually called Build Guild, right? So basically, what they have on this website is they also give you a little roadmap, like watch this video for Ethereum development, then do this and do this and do this. But if you have the basics down, what you can do is come down here to the challenges that they have. These are basically demo projects. They tell you what you need to build, they give you the instructions, and then you build what they have instructed you to build. So it's basically project idea, right? And it's amazing in my opinion. It's a very extensive list. As you progress through it, you will realize the challenges get harder and harder, and it is something very nice to flex in your CV as well, like in your resume. It stands out that you have speed run Ethereum, right? After this, by the end of this, I can assure you that you are at a very good level when it comes to smart contract development or decentralized application development, right? After this, what is recommended is you just pick up a project, anything that you might find, any problem or any problem statement that you might find out in the wild, and what you try to do is brainstorm on how you can solve that problem, right? So, like for example, but there are a lot of use cases of blockchain in the healthcare sector, right? In digital health record management. So you might plan on building a health record management system using blockchain, right? Then you look up what needs to be done in order to make a system like that, right? Nobody is going to have a tutorial on how to build stuff that is not yet been built, right? So then you need to dibble dabble into different resources. You need to go on Chat GPT. You need to ask Chat GPT, hey, I need to build this. Please guide me on what principles I should follow. What design architecture should I use? right? You can go on places like Ethereum Stack Exchange. This is an amazing community. Ethereum has a really amazing community, very helpful people. If you come onto Ethereum Stack Exchange, if you log in, you can ask questions here, which are basically publicly posted, and anybody can respond to your questions. You give it a title, you give it a body, and you just ask questions, right? Related to code or even contextual questions, right? So when you start building a project, you will realize that you do not actually know enough of the stuff. That is when you ask on these forums. That is when you look up documentation. Documentation is basically a record of documents that is maintained by the team at Ethereum or Solidity, right? Where you can find solutions to your problems. That is how you learn to build applications and not just copy and paste stuff from tutorials or like courses and stuff. So it is very much advised that you don't get stuck in tutorial hell. You actually go out there and build a product that is usable to the world, right? And once you have at least one decent project down, that is when you can actually start applying. If you have a single decent project down, I'm not talking about these projects that are covered in the courses. Of course, they're good, but everybody knows that, or tens of thousands of other people have built the same thing. When you have a one single unique project down, that is when you can call yourself a developer, right? That is when you can go out in the wild, approach people for opportunities, and actually have something on your portfolio that you can show them, right? Okay. So at that point, maybe your CV gets, that is, your resume gets shortlisted, right? Now you have your interview. What then? How do you make sure that you perform your 100% on the interviews, right? Also, I'd like to dial back a little bit. I'd like to talk about Twitter. It is absolutely an amazing platform. A lot of opportunities will come to you via these platforms like Twitter and Discord. You need to join as many Discord communities as possible. You need to interact with as many people on Twitter as possible. If you look at my Twitter here, it's all about blockchain and development and crypto and stuff, right? So it's not just advisable to like just swipe through Twitter, but actually write something, write a decent tweet, and then post often. You have no idea how much engagement you can get by that, and how many opportunities can pop up in your DMs. That is. Right. So next up, as I was talking, so you have your interview down. How do you make sure that you ace your interviews? So this is a website called Dap World. If you have ever used Lead Code or like Hacker Earth or like any other competitive coding website, this is the equivalent of that when it comes to smart contract development, right? So here you will find a lot of problem statements, like for example, this Fibonacci sequence problem statement. If you open that, it gives you a whole problem statement, and you need to write a smart contract code right over here, right? And then you compile, submit, it's judged, this and that, and then you're displayed on the leaderboard, right? Uh, and then basically in the back end, they check for whose code is more gas optimized, and then the leaderboard rankings are calculated, right? So this is an amazing platform if you want to make sure that you ace your interviews. I can assure you that if you have a decent project down under your belt, nobody is going to stop you. And if you have solid fundamentals in logic building and basically data structures, algorithms, and just uh, basic problem solving skills, you will be able to grab that first opportunity, and nobody can stop you with that. Uh, right. So I think that was my rant. Victoria, if you can come on and let me know if it was good.
Okay. Oh wow, that's quite a lot of resource that you've shared with us.
Yeah, I
It,
wanted to be a little compact, but I would say that this is the bare minimum that you need to do.
okay, okay. I don't know if you still have a lot of that where those ones you shared are coming from. I would say you can take a little bit more time, like if you're not done, because the second speaker dropped off. I don't know why. Um,
Okay. Um,
so
sure.
yeah,
I could elaborate a bit more. Not an issue.
okay, if you can, please, that would be amazing because we just started this developer arm of our community. We've been non-tech all this while, and
Right.
leveraging the knowledge amazing people like you share with us is going to like help people who will start coming into who are already in community or want to start their journey. So it will really be amazing if you can like maybe give an extra maybe 10 minutes or so, if that's okay.
Sure, sure, sure. Of course, no issues. I can do that.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, okay. So, as I was saying, that you need to have one project down under your belt, and you only just need a few basic things. You need to be able to build a website, right? React helps you with that. You need to be able to create a front end. That is, you need not necessarily delve too deep into the backend stuff, because blockchain does act as the backend, or in a sense. You need to be able to interface, do some API interfacing, but it isn't that big of a deal. You can learn it in a weekend, maybe. Right after that, once you have the smart contract basics down, it's just about creating a product. It's all about creating a product that can help people, right? Even on speedrun Ethereum, all these applications have already been created. What you can do uniquely is go out there and actually test these applications. If you so like for decentralized staking app, right? If you look up, um I don't know, like sushi swap, right? If you look up sushi swap, it's basically a DeFi app, right? If you go in there, you enter the app, you connect your wallet. I won't connect my wallet here because it's actually my personal wallet, right? So what is recommended is you actually go out there and use these applications that have been built by other people, because unless and until you actually use these applications, you won't be able to realize um, what problems actually exist in the ecosystem and what you need to solve. So like when you go out there and use these applications, you're better able to understand the problem statements that exist in the industry, right? So this is basically a swapping app. You can swap ether for sushi tokens, right? What else is there? So these are pools where you can stake your cryptocurrencies, right? So this is just one application. There are endless other applications. You just need to go out there and explore, and basically just uh, figure out what you need to uh, build in order to help the community. Right? Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Shivam,
He's here. Yeah. Yes, Victor.
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. You're audible.
Okay. Sorry. Razak, welcome back. Welcome back. Shivam, looking at some point. I don't know if we can move on to the second speaker, if that's okay by you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Razak.
Um, sorry about that. It's actually network issue. Like, I don't know what's going on out this time. But yeah, like, have to like move, and if you can't hear me, like you can just try calling my attention to it, so like I can just go back. But please, can I still confirm if you can still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you. I can still hear you. I can hear you. Let me confirm
Okay.
from the.
Okay.
Sorry. Shivam, can you hear him? What can?
I
What's
am
going on?
able to hear him actually, but it's not very clear.
It's not very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Razak, can you like maybe increase your volume or?
Okay, what of now? Can you confirm? I just adjust something. I just adjust something.
Yeah, yeah. It's way better.
Okay,
Really.
all right, good. Okay, so let's just get to it. So, good evening, everyone. I don't know where everyone might be joining from, but yeah, like in Nigeria right now, it's actually evening. So, like before starting like this topic, first I just want you guys to know that learning, like having practical sessions on learning resources and study strategies for junior developers, like I want you guys to see it as something like how would I put it, like an ecosystem where you know there are tools you can actually use to like explore some other stuff. But yeah, firstly, I'll just state the importance of like learning resources firstly. So now, looking at the whole, looking at how wide everywhere is right now, right? I feel showcasing the significance of choosing the right learning resources, and I think Shivam have actually mentioned some cool stuff like some websites and some new YouTube videos. Like I've forgotten the name of the man he mentioned, but yeah, like I've seen many of his videos, YouTube, and yeah, I could say like something like that is really cool. And yeah, I've checked, some of the story. I was unable, like I'm unable to share slides. So I've seen like some other, checking Valucop Global Twitter page. Like I've seen like there are some stuff they're cooking there, and they're trying to engage everyone, giving them the right learning resources, like bringing people up to talk about different topics, and yeah, it's actually something really good. So something like that is actually what you can look into, and yeah, also there are actually popular coding platforms, and I could remember clearly in 2022, between this year and 2022, like in my organization, basically, like we organized like um a free kind of coding camp where people, junior developers, even the seniors, like learning is actually unlimited. So bringing people on board, trying to explain some cool stuff to them, giving them free scholarship to like learn much more on these courses after giving them the right facilitators, or how would I put them, to really guide them on how they can really learn all this, learn different kind of courses. And yeah, so platforms I can really suggest right now, according to like what I've used, and how we've really distributed some of their resources online. Code, um Code Academy, Udacity, that's I mean, this is Udacity or what? Yeah, Coursera, and much more, right? And yeah, as I said, like I could really remember in 2022, I've forgotten like the platform we hosted, giving out free resources to learn. But yeah, like if I remember, I'll try and look for somewhere to drop it, right? So this actually give them much more thing to be able to like jump on some cool stuffs. And yeah, learning actually has different type of phases. I'll just tell you a little bit of what we've done in the past, like personally, and from here you can just pick up some keywords, some important lessons. So right now, when we started the whole thing of organizing something like this, the main our main focus is after all of this thing, you they get like they get jobs, even if it's not just like internship. You feel me? So something like that, it actually gives them much more attention, to really take the course really serious. And yeah, at the end of the day, they got really cool with some of this thing. And I got some feedback saying like they choose the right thing they actually want to learn. So you as a developer, you as a junior developer, I think it's actually your decision to say this is what I really want to go into. This is the right learning resources I want to use. This is like right, study strategies I actually want to go for. Right. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy that I don't really love watching much. Like I love watching movies, right? But talking about like short or long videos, like videos of 1 hour, 2 hours, like I don't really love watching something like that. I love short stuff, so I prefer like reading what that particular course is all about. If you can have it in text format, it's fine by me. So I don't know, you might just be like me, something like that, and you might just like something cool like that. So it's also good, to find some books. And yeah, books and documentation definitely. And for you guys that might love watching videos, yeah, you can also try something. You can try move into that direction. You get what I'm saying? So also we have some interactive coding platforms. I could remember when I was trying to test some stuffs. Basically we code in C sharp using VR and AR. So we basically write C sharps and C sharp. Um, so I was trying to learn something, and I was trying to like understand some scripting patches and so on like that. And I was unable to like get a particular place to test these things. Like I want a kind of thing that once I test, once I run the code, or how would I put it, once I write this code, like all the script, they'll like it will give it to actually connect into like a platform direct where I can just test the whole thing. And then I've forgotten the platform I used. But the main thing I'm trying to bring out of this thing is like using an interactive coding platform, like something that you can really use to test out your work after trying to combine some of this knowledge um, you've collated like after watching videos and maybe reading some documentations. And yeah, also, I don't know how some of us here might be seeing the terms coding or programming. So like my advice would be if you are coming up or if you are there already, like at least there's some ways actually figure out to really understand what you really want to do and you getting the right resources. Like for junior developers that are just coming up or people that are just coming up, I actually do advise that you actually get a structure. When I'm talking about a structure, I'm talking about maybe something like a timetable. Yeah, we know we are not in school, right? But yeah, like it's also good to know this is what I want to achieve or this is what I want to learn at the end of this whole thing. I remember someone gave me a course, Zero to Mastery. Yeah, like I got it for free, and it was like Razak, when are you going to start? And I was like, what I actually know in VR, like in what I actually know in the XR ecosystem, like integrating Web3, connecting it to like the whole VR technology, like it's kind of very very thick. And me coming to see how the whole React and Node actually work is kind of not really cool for me. So yeah, like and then I was just postponing, like I was just procrastinating that okay, I'll do it. But finally, what helped me along the line was like I was able to break down some things, right? I was able to like set a timetable for myself that okay, for today, even I set it on my Google, like on my Google Calendar, like today I'm going to learn this particular side. It actually has different modules, so I grouped them into different phases. Like today I'm going to take this first heading introduction to GitHub, something like that. So yeah, that was I was able to like break it down, and then finally I got to the final part of like understanding what React is, Node, and so on like that. Even though I might not be needing it now, but I might be needing it soon. So, because it's not really connected to like what I do at the moment, right? But yeah, I have the knowledge. So, also building a strong foundation, right? So, now, um, after the whole thing of you learning, I believe, for me, I believe like there's this type of connection that is always between you. Now, I'm talking in terms of clients, like finally when you be getting something like to, because yeah, what are you learning for? Like it's not really to, yeah, you might be feeling like, okay, I want to solve, or like I was actually, before, I do have this mentality of anything I do or anything I try to learn, I'm always ready to use it to change the world. But yeah, like at times you just kind of do it for that, and also at times you try of doing it for client's sake, trying to also um, get something like at least hands-on experience, something like that, maybe for a job or something. Yeah, so building a strong foundation. So when you are interacting or when you are trying to build something, it's very very there's one English I actually want to use. It's very compulsory. Yeah, it's very compulsory for you to understand what you're writing or what you are really doing. Right, we have different type of developers. There are some guys that are really good in it, and their code is that you can't really understand what you can see on that screen, only if they start explaining. And there are some guys that are really organized, like they try to arrange their stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? Anyone you fall into, but make sure what you are doing is strong, and what you're actually doing is not really um to lose connection, but also like gain some networking, and also like being able to like present your portfolio out there for people to be able to get you some job opportunities. And yeah, mentorship and networking is something really important for me. So I believe after learning all of these things, there are developers. You need job, right? So I feel there's this type of way you can really get to like put yourself out there, aside from just sending out your portfolio, right? So there are many events, there are many tech events that is really big right now, across the globe, that you can try showing people your work. What I do advise is at least you have one or two of your test run, or one or two of your MVP or your prototype work you've done for a client or something, that you'll be able to show people out that, okay, this is what I do, this is what I do, without not showing your portfolio. You've actually gotten a job. So also I do advise developers that when you're learning how to write code or something like that, it's very compulsory how to speak. Like you also learn public speaking attached to it, because if you're a developer and you can't really pitch or you can't really present your work well, it's actually not good. Because looking at the whole ecosystem now, everyone is falling into different stuff. Today you might be a developer, and then tomorrow you end up doing something else. So you should be able to like really connect um, your work to something, so you don't like end up in losing in both ways. So um, yeah, mentorship. I'm saying mentorship and networking. You know, there are many people you can also meet online on Twitter that that can guide you through um, some some someone like me. um yeah, if you are really in my field, yeah, you can definitely reach out to me, and we can see how we can work on stuff together. Because yeah, when I was also starting the whole thing, I needed someone to really mentor me, but although I didn't get one. Yeah, but I didn't get one. But like, I'm always advising people to always get a mentor, because it was really hard for me. So it's really hard for me at the age of was it 15 or 14? Because I had the whole passion of like going into tech since 9 or so, but I was unable to get the right resources and meeting the right people to putting me into it. And then from 15, 16, and then I started doing the whole thing myself, and yeah, and then I started building some cool stuffs. Yeah, and yeah, so I'm still on it. Get the right people to mentor you, and then choose and know how to really put out your product, right? I'm not always after build, always know how to also put out your product so people can understand what you are really building. Yeah. Um, so learning from reward project. So like um Shivam has mentioned a lot of things like and let's talk about something real quick before we end this. There's this popular there's this popular guy I know on like I watch some of his videos on YouTube. Like, he does something related to yeah, he do this front end thing like at times he goes do some stuff related to some smart contracts and so on. So I was watching it one day and then was just saying some cool stuff. And one thing I really picked out from what he was saying was he said he was learning from like reward project. So that means he has been looking at people work from start. That what is this guy up to? What is this? So like he had one special guy he's always looking up to on YouTube, and he's always waiting to drop his video. So once he drops his video, he's always watching it to learn from what he's always doing. But you can also pick your fave there, and then you can just from there you might not even need a mentor, right? Because what they might be saying might be really, really, might really make you understand what the person is really doing. And yeah, I could also remember doing one of my course with Side Hustle Africa. Um, they got us like a is it partner or something that you guys should be checking your goals like what is like they said a timetable kind of thing. Then you tell me, okay, this is what I've learned today, this is what I'm going to be learning tomorrow. So you guys are going to be staying together, to learn some to just basically move together. That's just the main thing. So it won't just be only learning the whole thing. And yeah, um and yeah, it was really, really helpful because at times you might not really learn to like you might not really get what you really want to learn, but at least meeting new people, telling them what you do, like you guys talk about some cool stuff they're working on and how you can be of help, or how you can also work on some of their projects. And yeah, I'm always advising people also to, once you see like you've gotten like a background of what this thing is, of this whole thing is, right, I do advise to also learn how to put your work on popular, social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, um, Instagram. Yeah. As for me, like me, you might be checking my Twitter and then be seeing stuff there. Like I don't really love putting my work on Twitter or something, because it's actually a platform where I go to in my free time to to check some stuff that always pop in. Yeah, but like if you really want to see my work, I do advise you come on LinkedIn or Instagram. Like it's much more serious there than Twitter. So yeah, you can. I don't know. Like that's just for me because I feel all kind of play make Jack a dull boy. So it's not every time we try and work. So what I'm trying to say along this line is learn how to put your work out there. Anything you're learning, right? Even if it's a YouTube video you're watching, you can also put it there, and then what you learn for that day, you can put it there, and then from there, you don't know you're providing another resources for developers like you, and from there you're building a whole community. I know someone that started something like that on Twitter, and he's a very big guy now. So we just started from there and then start putting what I learned, and then from there it became big, and yeah, he's working with big tech companies. Yeah, so yeah, basically, I think that's actually all. Yeah, I've talked about um importance of learning resources, like recommending learning resources, books and documentation, and also videos. Anyone you prefer. Also, getting interactive coding platforms, study strategies for junior developers, like choosing what you really want to go for, like maybe getting timetable or something, setting a goal or peer collaboration, and maybe reach out to some guys on TikTok for code reviews. Also building a strong foundation. We've talked about that. Also, mentorship and networking really important. Also, learning from real world project. I give like a sample from YouTube, and yeah, also continue learning. That's it basically. And yeah, you definitely see the outcome of what um, you've really you know packed. And yeah, I want to say something to end this whole thing. Anything you're actually learning and you are very very good in it, if you can learn it within 6 months, for you, I do advise that if you are actually planning to get a job, right? Like is actually something I know that yes, if this person is really really good, I'm always like, if you need a job, just put like a 1 year experience kind of thing there, because what someone of 3 years having a whole 3 years experience know, you might actually know it better, right? So if you're in that type of space and you are here and you are really good at what you are doing, right? I'll just advise you, to definitely put your work out there. And if anyone reach out to you and tell you have a low experience, always learn to prove it to them that you have something you can offer to the company. And yeah, it's actually a way of convincing a client, and it's definitely give you a good review on first impression. So yeah, thank you very much for staying in the session with me, and yeah, good.
Thank you so much, Razak. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, wow. Okay. Um, for those of I don't know how many of us are still here. Okay, okay. Thank you, Razak. So I don't know if anyone has a question. We're even looking forward to having a Razak and um, Shivam on these sessions, like subsequent future, because I know that both of them would have shared more, right? I'm sure there's lots of value where all those is coming from. But you can go to Twitter handle and make sure you follow. Go to Valueverse on or Valueverse Valucop Dev Africa, and follow. You see our post there, and then follow Razak, follow Shivam. And Razak said he's mostly available on Twitter, so you can look for him and follow him. But if you have any questions, you can share with us, and maybe it's going to form our next session, or maybe they can record a response and share with us. And then this is also an opportunity for us to share that we're trying to onboard more Africans to the Web3 tech space, the blockchain tech space. So I know that there are communities like this out there coming out doing amazing stuff. So we want to even help reach as many persons as possible and put them through boot camps, sessions like this that exposes them to what they should know, what they should engage with, how they can, toe the
Victoria, hello. Oh, you're actually not audible.
Yeah, yeah, I can't really hear her again. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, I think there's some technical glitch right there. Victoria, I think you might have to rectify it from your end, because we're not able to hear you right now. Yeah, so uh, Victoria will join back in a minute. But as she was saying, um, I'm sure Razak and I will always be available on Twitter. If anybody of you watching it after the live stream on YouTube ever have any kind of a doubt with the content that we shared, or just anything in general you just want to hit us up and just talk to us about, blockchain and Web3 and stuff, you can always connect with us on Twitter. Razak also mentioned that he was available on LinkedIn. Uh, Unfortunately, that's not the case for me as of now. I prefer Twitter because a lot of smart contract auditing people hang out there. So yeah, you can catch hold of me on Twitter at any times. Yeah, I think Victoria's back.
Hey, sorry about that. I think my network decided to mute me, and then so I had to like refresh. I don't know if you heard anything I said.
Actually, the last 30 seconds or so, we couldn't hear you. So I just picked up the session after that.
Oh, okay. I was just thanking you guys for the value you guys shared, and then us introducing what we are trying to do at Valucop. Valucop Dev Africa. Valucop Dev Africa is the tech arm of Valucop Global. Before now, Valucop Global has been focused on careers, helping both non-tech and completely unaware people, young people, to transition into the blockchain space and start their careers. We have the notion that we have so many people who are very enthusiastic and carried away with all the FOMOs, all the buying and selling and all of that. So we like to come from the angle that you can offer value with your skill set, or you can learn something, a skill that you can use to offer value in this space and then get paid for it. So that's why our slogan is value first, and then money next. So, but all this while we've never onboarded um, any tech person or someone that's into coding, because I'm a non-tech founder, so we are mostly dealing with branding, marketing, communications, all those kind of skills that involve like content writing, community management, and stuff. So, but now we need for to increase adoption of this tech in Africa. We need people who can build solutions, Africa first solutions, Africa centric solutions. So the idea of this is to amplify what's already happening in this space. We already have communities like this, teaching and empowering people with skills. So in the coming days, we're looking forward to building out work, boot camps, workshops, live sessions like this. The idea is to to give people as much to give people as much value as possible and show them that this is doable, this is obtainable, and they can do it. So I'm really grateful to you, Shivam, and Razak, for bringing out your time this evening and sharing with us. So this is one resource that we always refer back to. Whenever anybody's like, how do I get started? I'm like, okay, we have one resource on YouTube. Just can even split up this session into um, tinier videos to make it easy for people to consume. Like Razak mentioned that he would rather read than watch long videos, right? So I don't know if you have any other thing to share. I don't think we have any questions. One more thing. I don't know if you guys. Okay, that will be like behind the doors chats though. So thank you very much for your time. If you have anyone last thing, anything else to like share with us, you can go ahead and share it. If not,
Uh,
we just call
just,
it in.
I would just like to thank you, Victoria, and Valucop Global for this opportunity. As you expressed that you're trying to onboard as many Africans as possible into the space, I really appreciate that. I really respect your vision, and I really commend you for doing the work that you're doing. And it is really amazing because we're in the very nascent stage of this technology. We need as many people, as many developers, as many non-technical people. Everybody is equally important, everybody is equally valued, and the space is very, very accepting. This is very welcoming and a very warm space. This is one of the best places that I've been at. The community is amazing. I would just encourage people, if you're interested, then just hop on. Uh, it's a rough ride, but we're all gonna make it. That's it. Yeah. Thank
Thank you so much, Shivam, for those kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Razak, any final blessings for us?
Yeah. Um, actually, is really really nice. Like joining tonight. Like, I'll still keep apologizing. Like, I really came late. I was really attending to some, document, and I was on transit. So, basically, it's actually something really good, and like I've been wanting to see like a community that would really bring that really really passionate about like Africans, because like this type of thing, I don't think is actually really open to like many numbers of people across just within Africa actually, because like I've seen many many platforms that are not really really centered within Africa, even like a Nigerian startup, but focusing on some stuff that are actually outside the country and outside Africa basically. So yeah, it's actually something really good. And yeah, I don't know if you guys should be in need of like learning resources. Like I can share some few ones with you, and yeah, and also like maybe recommend some code camps. Maybe you guys can maybe if possible you can organize maybe like a training, maybe 1 or 2 weeks something, and yeah, give some
We
few
actually have,
resources people can.
yeah, that would be totally amazing, Razak. Really, sincerely, because like I said, I'm a non-tech founder, so it's more like how will I put it now? I'm just like guiding, making sure this is obtainable and achievable. It's not like I have a first-hand coding experience myself. So, but actually, January we want to launch our first boot camp. It's going to be we want to make it like an 8 week stuff. I don't know if 8 week is too long for a start. But it won't be like an everyday stuff. But the idea is um to get started and help people achieve this. I feel like coding is something that's very serious and a lot will not really be achieved in a very short time. That's what I think. Oh, um, but you mentioned 2 weeks, so but we're looking at 8 week kind of stuff, and then have like a 2 week practical session. The idea is at least by the time you're done, maybe in the year we'll have like up to three of this kind of boot camp in the year 2024. But we're starting our first one in January, and we'll do a lot of promotion this December and get some people on board, get some mentors or facilitators and handle sessions and all of that. And of course, we're open to facilitators and all. So they can have dedicated learning period, dedicated mentorship, dedicated question and answer sessions, and all of that. And you know, so yes, we're actually doing that. Sorry, I cut you short from what you were saying, but I wanted to say that
you.
we have that in mind and we're working towards that. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
super. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Sure. I'm with you guys. Like, yeah, I'll send a message on I'm coming. Sorry, give me a minute. I'll
Okay.
send the message to is it Caleb or come in, let me check.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's our.
I'll send her a message and like share the share a document with her containing the learning links. Like it's basically it's basically like a paid kind of course, but yeah, like I would send it to her and yeah, you guys can see how you can fix stuff. And yeah, it's basically as introduction to Java, HTML, and many much more like you can find there. And yeah, I'll just share with her. And yeah,
Oh wow. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So it was an amazing an hour and some minutes, and it was impactful. Next coming week, we're going to reshare this content over and over again, and until people they absorb the value. So once again, thank you everybody for your time this evening, and thank you to our high esteemed speakers for sharing so much value. Um, Even myself that have zero knowledge about coding, I was like, oh wow, amazing. So we look forward to whenever you can to share your that you want to share your time with us again. So at this point, we're going to call it a night over here. I think it's much later for Shivam. I really appreciate the sacrifice to be awake with us on this session. Thank you so much, Shivam. Thank you so much, Razak.
Thank you,
Um,
Victoria, for having me. It's actually a pretty popular niche that developers are always up at night. It's not something.
yeah,
Thank
again, I can imagine. All right, I'll be ending the stream now. So my Caleb is going to like reach out to you and oh, thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
All right, bye everyone.